Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily News. I'm Nicholas Richardson. Today, the Podlasie police published a message on social media about the actions being carried out to punish the perpetrators of the outrageous attack on soldiers. An investigation has been launched into the insult and violation of a soldier's integrity. 2 organisers have been questioned, 15 fines have been imposed for disorderly conduct, obstructing traffic and failure to identify a person. 2 of the defendants have been charged and others are being summoned after their passports were seized, while other suspects are being determined.
This is neither easy to watch nor easy to listen to. A group of about 20 young people, probably drunk, were insulting and attacking Polish soldiers guarding the border with Belarus. They spit on them and poured alcohol. The incident took place over the weekend. Today, the police reported the first findings and consequences. An investigation has been opened into the insult and violation of the integrity of a soldier. 2 organizers were questioned. 15 fines were given for disorderly conduct, the obstruction of traffic, and failure to identify a person. 2 have been accused. Additional people were summoned after passports were confiscated, and others have been identified. The group was made up of people from many parts of Poland, as well as from abroad, who had come to have a good time. The footage is shocking, but it also shows the potential danger and possible attempts by Russia and Belarus to destabilize the situation on the border in a similar way, especially as politicians of the new government in Poland and associated circles have for years been questioning the point of defending the border and have attacked officers. An attack, even a symbolic one, on a functionary of the Polish state, be it a soldier or a policeman, is a cause for celebration in Moscow and in Belarus. Earlier today, Polish Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of National Defense, Władysław Kosiniak-Kamysz, publicly alluded to the attack on Polish soldiers, though not directly to the one last weekend, when announcing the deployment of up to 17,000 troops to the border from the 1st of August. Anyone who in any way insults the soldiers of the Polish army, officers who defend the Polish border and serve the Polish state, will suffer the consequences, and this is already happening. I continue to expect that Defense Minister Kosiniak-Kamysz will make tough decisions and will be able to enforce them. There is simply no room for anyone to question the decisions of soldiers on duty. Pressure on the border with Belarus continues, although the number of illegal crossings has fallen in recent weeks. 60 were recorded yesterday, twice as many as the day before. Border guards are also drawing attention to the increasingly aggressive behavior of those attempting to cross into Poland. The Russians are interested in further destabilizing the border and thus systematically destroying the Polish state. It was recently reported that Belarus and Russia are considering a scenario in which several thousand Palestinians from the Gaza Strip, including experienced fighters from the radical Hamas, would be used on the border in a hybrid war against Poland. Maksymilian Maszenda, TV Republika.
Ursula von der Leyen has spent weeks trying to convince European Union lawmakers to back her for a second term as President of the European Commission. A day before a knife-edge vote, many said they have still not yet decided whether to support her. The European Parliament will decide on Thursday whether to appoint Ursula von der Leyen for another 5 years, providing continuity at the top of the 27-nation European Union at a time of external and internal challenges. In her first term, the German centre-right former defence minister oversaw the launch of the world's biggest package of policies to fight climate change, implementation of Europe's €800 billion response to the COVID-19 pandemic, and helped mobilise EU support for Ukraine. With the EU facing what some see as an existential threat from Russia's war in Ukraine, uncertainty over November's United States presidential election, and an assertive China, von der Leyen supporters says she offers stability.
The American elections are coming up, and we all see the turmoil in the United States. The war in Ukraine is ongoing, the uncertainties in the Middle East, the ongoing manslaughter also in Gaza, it's continuing. It's very clear we need stability from the European Union side, and if we are not going to get a president elected now, and that will move to after the summer, I think we're not doing a service to a lot of people.
Others in the EU Parliament say they will not decide whether to support von der Leyen until she reveals what concessions she is offering in a speech outlining her plans on Thursday.
So first she has to commit to some concrete points. What we heard so far was very von der Leyen-ish, as we already know after the 5 years, very vague, very flowery, but we need to nail her down, especially not only because of her sake, but also because of the lack of trust I have in EPP after what happened in the last mandate, especially in my topics on the Green Deal, where they often seek majorities with the right, which cannot continue like this.
Some lawmakers have indicated that they will not back von der Leyen.
I'm 100% sure most of the delegation in ECR will vote no, because she lied. She received a credit of trust 5 years ago. She promised a lot of things, never delivered. How do you want to stop migration? No answer. How do you want to deal with the Green Deal, which is so expensive for Europeans? No answer. There was no answer for any question we asked. So how can you support someone who doesn't have a vision, who doesn't have a plan?
The support of all lawmakers from von der Leyen's centre-right European People's Party, Socialists and Liberals would give her 401 votes. But it is a secret ballot, and some members are expected to break ranks and oppose her. To pass comfortably, von der Leyen may need support from parts of the 78-strong European Conservatives and Reformist group, or the Greens. Internal divisions in the ECR make the Greens appear the safer bet. Winning over both factions is unlikely given their opposing demands. The Greens want climate policies safeguarded. The European Conservatives and Reformists want them weakened. In order to be appointed for another 5-year term, Ursula von der Leyen needs the support from at least 361 of the European Parliament's 720 members. The Republican Party convention is underway in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. For the first time since the assassination attempt, Donald Trump made a public appearance, and yesterday he was officially chosen by delegates as a Republican candidate for the presidential election. As of yesterday, we know that the vice presidential candidate is a popular senator from Ohio, J.D. Vance. Our team, including Michal Rachon, is on the scene. What are the emotions of the delegates ahead of Donald Trump's speech scheduled for today? Because after all, everyone is waiting for this speech, and not only there.
Nastrój wielkiego oczekiwania I wielkiej nadziei.
A mood of great anticipation and great hope. Donald Trump supporters are here outside the convention center, where the convention is being held, standing with signs that read, impeached, arrested, convicted, shot, still standing. These signs and this slogan are palpable here. A great feeling of anticipation, but also of an expected electoral victory for Donald Trump and J.D. Vance.
Ale też spodziewane zwycięstwo wyborcze Donalda Trumpa I J.D. Vance'a.
Republicans have not been so united in years. For them, the assassination attempt on Donald Trump is also an assault on conservative values. Trump was wounded, but stood up even stronger. This applause is an accolade not for Trump, but for Nikki Haley, former US ambassador to NATO, and until recently a staunch opponent of Trump. She herself wanted to be the Republican candidate for president, then hoped Trump would choose her as his vice president. Now she says,
Donald Trump has my strong endorsement, period.
and adds that only he can save America.
If we have 4 more years of Biden or a single day of Harris, our country will be badly worse off.
Not everyone in the room was on board with Trump, but today everyone recognizes his leadership. He is backed by former foes, Texas Senator Ted Cruz and Florida Senator Marco Rubio.
Good jobs and lower prices. They want borders that are secure, and for those who come here to do so legally.
The second day of the convention was dominated by talks about stopping illegal immigration and security, issues important to everyone, Republicans and Democrats.
And I've worked with a number of colleagues, Republicans and Democrats, to get things done. It's one of the things people really underappreciate, I think, about President Trump's approach to leadership is obviously you have some fringe elements of the left who hate his guts, but actually a lot of my Democratic colleagues will admit in private he was very easy to work with because he could make deals for the American people.
The convention is taking place under the watchful eye of the security services. Not far from the convention hall, police officers shot a man armed with knives who was attacking passers-by. US media are reporting that Trump has been targeted by Iran and the services there were planning an assassination attempt on him as revenge for the killing of the Iranian general Qasem Soleimani during Trump's presidency. While just 3 days ago,
What happened?
Donald Trump miraculously survived an assassination attempt when another assassin shot at him during a rally.
Take a look what happened.
A video analysis has appeared on the internet showing how lucky Trump was that he turned his head just as the bullet aimed at him flew by.
Not even an assassin's bullet could stop him.
Joe Biden is trying to break up Republican unity at all costs. The American president is relentless in his attacks on Trump. This time he's trying to discourage African Americans from voting for him.
Donald Trump's presidency was hell for Black America. He tried to repeal Obamacare to kick millions of Black Americans off their health insurance.
However, some Americans think differently. All you have to do is look at the latest poll in 6 key states. 4 years ago, Joe Biden won in all of them. Now he leads only in Nevada. In Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Pennsylvania and Wisconsin, the winner is Donald Trump, with a lead ranging from 1% to almost 6%.
We're so relieved and we're thanking God that President Trump, survived the assassination. And I think if this is doing anything, it's really galvanizing everyone behind him.
Martin Shevchuk, TV Republica. Today, King Charles III took part in the ceremonial state opening of Parliament. For the second time, the King gave the King's Speech, which, by tradition, sets out the political and legislative programme of the government. The new Labour government's programme tackles a few of the country's most pressing issues, yet seems to omit others.
Speaking from the throne in the House of Lords, in the presence of the Lords and the Commons, the King read the programme of the government. After 14 years of rule by the Conservative Party, the new Labour-led government is promising, above all, change.
My Lords and members of the House of Commons, my government will govern in service to the country. My government's legislative programme will be mission-led and based upon the principles of security, fairness and opportunity for all.
Within the package, consisting of over 35 bills, are plans that focus on growing the economy, creating new jobs, and, possibly the most sensitive issue in British politics, easing the housing crisis.
What people really want is change. And change is what this government of service will deliver. A King's Speech that takes the brakes off our economy.
Labour won a landslide victory on the 4th of July this year, after the British electorate turned on the Conservatives, after years of economic stagnation, extreme inflation, numerous scandals, and uncontrolled immigration. Today, Starmer is the most powerful UK Prime Minister since Tony Blair, who was Prime Minister from 1997 to 2007. While some see the new government's promises to tackle Britain's most urgent problems as a reason for optimism, others are more cautious.
In Sudan, Darfur.
For years now, immigration has been a major issue in British politics, with many blaming large-scale immigration for many problems, including increased house prices and soaring crime. Starmer's new government, however, doesn't seem too concerned. In fact, Labour has promised to scrap a proposed deterrent policy of relocating asylum seekers to Rwanda. How this will end up affecting British politics, we can only guess.
That's the news. Thank you for watching, and from me, it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.